Bloomberg Audio Studios.
Podcasts, radio, news.
Single best idea to start a really interesting week. I'm exhausted by the politics. I'm sure you were over the weekend of the United Kingdom of France. Thank you, Francine Lacroix. Coming to first with Avenue Marceau, with the Eiffel Tower in the background, straddled between the 8th and 16th arrondissement. Francine Lacroix reporting early this morning on the shocking French election. All that's going on in the United States. Look to Joe Matthew and Kayleigh Lines for balance of power. That story will change by the time we get this out on Apple Podcasts. But we're trying to do conventional work with inflation reports late in the week, and JP Morgan and Citigroup on Friday really getting the earnings going. And, of course, stay cool in this brutal heat and humidity that we're having really across the nation. Michelle Meyer was definitive at Bank of America working with Ethan Harris on the consumer. MasterCard was so impressed they brought her over as their chief economist, and she's been brilliant, has a wonderful prism. What she's really good at is telling me I don't know what I'm talking about. Michelle Meyer here on the polarity of the consumer.
I don't think that's an accurate assessment. I think that there's, as we talked before, there's not a uniform story, but I don't think you can just break it into those two categories. Because think about, again, go look at the labor market. Consider the fact that we've had job gains that have been impressive across many different categories, which span many different income levels. Right. Wage growth was actually the fastest coming out of the pandemic for the lower income, lower skilled part of the population, a way that we hadn't seen in prior cycles. Right. And a lot of folks had really been supported by the fact that the stimulus was extremely beneficial and supportive.
Michelle Meyer there on the American Consumer. And I'll tell you, listen to the entire interview, very valuable. She is just heated of this being the great missed call out of the pandemic on the strength, the broad strength of the American consumer. And I think she said both on and off the mic that MasterCard continues to see data of a consumer that is spending. What a wonderful day. Terry Haynes on short notice on Washington as well with Pangea. He was just absolutely brilliant on the need to see polls. And he said most of those polls will be coming up. And, hey, it's July, folks. There's a convention in Milwaukee, the Republican convention. And, I'm sorry, it's sort of upon us here. And we'll continue to follow that, of course, all in France and England as well. But we do have to look at what we see in the markets. And with a brilliant note from DWS of London was Amanda Rebello. And this is on ETFs and what to do. And it's a very surgical note as well, I should point out. We talked to her, though, about the difference in education in Europe and in the broader United Kingdom in her mathematics, which she took at Oxford. She is just absolutely first rate. Here's Amanda Rebello on the mathiness of our teachers.
One thing that's in the way in which maths is taught, and actually my sister is a high school teacher in the UK for mathematics, the issue is that it's very procedural. I think as well a lot of teachers don't have the passion, so we really need to get passionate people to teach. Yeah. I'm one of them. I sold out and I went into finance, right? So I think that's the issue.
She sold out to DWS. I'm sure the DWS marketing people love that statement. Her work is brilliant at DWS and the allocation of what to do. There's like 600 ETFs out there, and you say, okay, what's the most efficacious way to take a belief? And that's what Amanda Rebello leads at DWS, off the London desk as well. To look forward to this week, again, CPI and PPI, those will be key reports. And then we go into the earnings season. I've been saying for weeks, if not months, I have been saying that all of a sudden the Fed chat is less weighted by me, and the earnings chat, the cash flow chat, is way more weighted. That'll be fascinating to see. Brian Belsky with us at BMO Capital Markets today, and he's absolutely heated that the generation of free cash flow will be there, although he's hoping, and I mean hoping was the word, for a correction. Of course, I asked him, what's a correction? And the joke now is it's 3%. The historical correction is 10%. Brian Belsky suggesting the joy of a 5, 6, 7% correction would be more appropriate. We will see as we stagger through July. We're out on YouTube. Again, go to Google, search YouTube Bloomberg Podcasts, and you can subscribe there on YouTube to the Bloomberg Podcast page, all the value add of what we do on radio. And there's Apple CarPlay and Android Auto as well. On Apple Podcasts, this is Single Best Idea.